Every single supplement company now seems to sell a protein powder where they all claim that they have the best one to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Unfortunately, 95% of these top selling companies are full of shit, both figuratively and literally, where these brands contain many fillers, junk ingredients, and heavy metals that do your gut and brain no good after years and years of consumption. Thankfully, there's a lot of high quality protein powders now on the market that are affordable, don't taste like cardboard, and don't end up giving you gut and brain issues later on down the road, where there are 5 easy ways to be able to spot out the bad versus the good brands of protein. So by the end of this video, you will have the confidence to be able to sort through any protein powder and know if it's a bad or good one based on the principles I'm about to show you. With the first one being the most important, and that's if the product is third-party lab tested. You see, the FDA does not regulate the supplement industry, which basically means it's up to the supplement companies to set the standards for how they're going to evaluate and manufacture all their products. The reason why you want your powder to be third-party lab tested is because the analysis shows exactly what's in the product and make sure that there's things not in there like fillers, alterations to the amino acid complex, contaminants, glyphosate, and heavy metals. Now this requires extra time and money by these supplement companies to do these types of tests, but it's the only way to ensure that you are getting exactly what's listed on the label. Now when companies don't use third-party lab testing, that's a big red flag that they're cutting corners to make higher profit margins rather than stepping up their standards. The second way to be able to sort through a good versus a bad protein powder is the source of the ingredients, where you want to look for a protein that's grass-fed, that uses natural ingredients, and does not use cows that have hormones or antibiotic use. These ingredients are less inflammatory for your gut, where powders that use artificial ingredients, fillers, and cow's milk that's not hormone and antibiotic free aren't necessarily bad for you, but they have a higher chance of causing gut issues and digestive problems and diarrhea than the ones that are grass-fed and use more natural ingredients. Now, the third way to spot the difference between a bad and good protein powder is the amount of protein per serving. A whey and casein-based protein powder need to contain a bare minimum of at least 20 grams of protein per serving for it to be worth it. 20 grams of protein is the bare minimum amount of protein that you need to consume in one sitting to be able to cause a spike in muscle protein synthesis, which helps to promote muscle growth. So if you see a label that only has 15 grams of protein per serving, they're ripping you off. Now, plant-based proteins, they're a bit of a different story. You may need to consume on the upwards of 40 grams of protein to be able to get the same spike in muscle protein synthesis as 20 grams of a whey protein powder. And that's just mainly because the essential amino acid complexes of plant proteins are just lower in general compared to milk and animal proteins. Now, I don't know of any plant protein companies that have 40 grams of protein per serving. So in most cases, you're going to have to do 1 to 2 extra scoops to get the same response and stimulus as 20 grams of whey would, which leads to the next and fourth component, which is price of protein, where the rule of thumb for a price per serving, excluding plant-based protein powders, is $2 per serving or less. Now, I get it. Most people want to save money, so they tend to go to the cheaper routes of protein because, like I just mentioned, all you need is 20 grams of protein, and the cheaper ones will have the same effect as the grass-fed and third-party lab tested ones. So why bother? Well, if saving the extra $10 to $20 on protein is worth the upset stomachs, gas, diarrhea, bloating, and who knows what else comes from them, be my guest, buy them. I am not going to stop you. But I'm guessing since you're watching this and that you're not like most people, that you actually care for your health and that you want what's best for your gut as well, where when you go with the higher quality proteins, gut issues and bloating, gas, diarrhea, and all that tend to go on the downward trend when you go with higher quality protein. Plus, with subscriptions and buying in bulk, you can actually sometimes pay less for the higher quality proteins than the cheaper ones. So here are some of the highest quality proteins that I have found on the market today, where coming in first place is Legion Whey Plus. This bad boy is a 5-pound bag, and I got it in French vanilla, and I also have a chocolate peanut butter one too. And it comes in with a subscription down to $1.46 per serving of protein. That's pretty good. Next up, we got Keon's Clean Protein, and this stuff comes in at a little more pricier. It comes in at $1.80 per serving with a subscription. But this rich chocolate flavor, it's unlike any other chocolate out there. So I love this stuff. And here's the thing. I use a lot of protein and I have zero gut and digestive issues. So if I would be consuming this much protein with a lower quality stuff, I don't know how well I'd fare out then. Then coming in third place, which I do not have on me, but it is Momentous, which is a high quality grass-fed whey protein powder. Now here's the catch though. It comes in at $2.33 per serving. So it's on the more expensive side. So I don't know if I would purchase it, but I'm just putting it out there that it is a high quality protein. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now for all my plant-based viewers, Legion also sells a plant-based protein powder, and that comes in at $2.25 per serving, where for plant-based proteins, you're gonna have to fork up extra money just because the whole processing and extraction of getting the protein from the plants does require more time and money for these manufacturers. Then we got Organifi coming in with a plant-based protein powder at $2.66 per serving. Then lastly, we got a Force Somatics protein powder coming in at $2.66 per serving as well. But Force Somatics does only have 18 grams of protein per serving, which is 2 off from the 20 gram mark, where you're gonna have to use more of it. But I have personally tried the Force Somatics plant-based protein powder because I got sample packs a couple months back after I ordered coffee. And I gotta tell you, it's some good tasting protein. So that's why I included it on the list today, because I tried it and it tastes good. But when I was using it, I also added another scoop of whey protein powder because I'm not a vegan. So I got that threshold up then to the 40, 50 grams then, because that's just how much protein I consume in a sitting. With plant protein powders, you have to add in the extra protein to make up the same muscle protein synthesis response as 20 grams of just whey on its own. Now, you're probably all wondering what the fifth and final component of a good quality protein powder is. And that, my friends, is the return policy. The difference between a good company and a great company is the return policy, where the best of the best companies are so confident in the products that they are selling you that if for some reason that you do not like it, they will give you all your money back, and in some cases, they won't even make you return the product. You get to keep it. How cool is that? All the products I've listed here today all offer really good guarantees and return policies, where Legion and Keon, in my opinion, have the best. So I really don't know what more you could ask for in finding the highest quality of a protein powder. But before I finish up, I want to jump back to the third-party lab testing and go over why that's so important. And the reason being, heavy metals are naturally found in the air, soil, water, and in food, especially in seafood. So it's impossible to avoid coming in contact with them completely, where in 2010 and in 2018, the US Consumer Report and the Clean Lab Project tested protein powders that showed almost all of the protein powders had detectable levels of at least one heavy metal of either arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and lead after testing 148 total proteins combined. But then a new study came out in 2020 that analyzed all the data from both of those studies, and what they found was that the detectable levels of heavy metals that were found in the protein powders do not pose an increased non-carcinogenic risk to human health. And after reading the study in full myself, it made sense as to why they came up with that conclusion, because in reality, the amount of heavy metals that they found in the protein powders were relatively low. But here's the catch. Heavy metals can accumulate in your body over years and years of consumption, and eventually 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 years down the road, you might start to get brain fog, fatigue, gut issues, muscle cramps, and all these symptoms of heavy metal poisoning. So instead of just pushing it off to the side, oh, there's not that many heavy metals in my protein, you should really take in consideration the long-term effect of heavy metal consumption, which is why third-party lab testing is so important, is because they specifically test for heavy metals, and so they make sure that you are getting the lowest amount of heavy metal consumption in your protein powders. So that's it for today's video, guys, where I hope you learned something new today on protein powders that you didn't know before, where if you haven't subscribed yet, if you could click that subscribe button, that would be awesome. And if you're new here, my name is CrossCans, where I'm currently on a weight loss journey, and I just recently got surgery on my meniscus, and so I've been making a weekly series that comes out every Monday that goes over my progress for the week of losing weight and my rehabilitation of my meniscus. Where another thing, if you plan on getting either of these protein powders, let me know in the comment section below, because I make no money off this. This is not a sponsorship, no affiliates. I just wanted to put out the best content on protein that I know of, so then you guys know exactly what you're looking for and getting from protein powders. So please let me know if you get to these brands, man, because they're the shit. Have a great one, guys. Peace.